Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. Friendly reminder, if you have your cell phone, please silence. Mute. Thank you very much.
Roll call. Mayor Guillermo Ramos.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem John Jennings.
Present.
Commissioners Carlos Valdez.
Present.
Kate Kelly. Present. Scotty Williams.
Present.
Curtis McRae.
Present.
Juan Bridges.
Here.
Karen McGee. Here. City Manager Brent Taylor.
Here.
City Attorney Tom Burnett.
Here.
And I am here. We would like to invite Reverend Teacher Smith from St. Cyprian's to lead us in prayer, followed by the pledge led by Commissioner Scotty Williams.
The Lord be with you.
Let
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, how great you are and how wise you are in leading and guiding us in decisions we have to make in our lives and in the lives of others, more than we can imagine. I call upon your presence to be in the midst of this meeting, to be present with these leaders and citizens who are here to witness these transactions. You have called them to serve. Make them ever mindful of that call to serve others. Clear their minds, provide clarity to do what is best for the common good. To not sway unjustly but righteously, that everyone can appeal to you and receive justice and support through their service. Keep them cooperative with one another and disagree with conviction and not with selfishness, but at all times making Oxford a better community, citizens, a city for all to live here. Give each one the satisfaction that they have done their best. In Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, the board will consider adjustments to and approval of tonight's agenda, beginning with tonight's agenda.
Matter of notice of that, I'd like to add an agenda to tonight's, tonight's agenda, please. Name it, number it, 410. I would like to add an item, the reinstate the position of assistant city manager as soon as possible, please. The reason is the town is growing. There's a lot of work to be done, and we're understaffed as it is. We need this position filled soon. So I'd like to add that to the agenda. Thank you for the motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem, I will second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
In order to provide the highest standards of behavior and transparency in governance, the Board of Commissioners approved a code of ethics to establish ethical standards for board members and to provide guidance for appropriate conduct. Among those, board members should avoid impropriety in the exercise of their official duties and should conduct the affairs of the board in an open and public manner. If any board member knows of any conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to matters before the board, please state so at this time. Let the record show no conflicts.
This time we'll go on to item 2.1 on under delegation. We have a presentation update from Grambling School Board. Grambling School by Grambling County Superintendent Dr. Stanley.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and all of those here this evening. My name is Stan Whitmore, and I'm the proud superintendent of Granville County Public Schools. I'd like to thank you all for inviting me back to provide some praise. Before I get started, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize a couple of the other individuals who are here this evening with me. I have, I believe, 3 board members that are in attendance. Board Member Waters, Board Member Russell, and Board Member, and thank you ladies for your time as well. We also have one of our students here, but I'll kind of let that sit. That's special something, but really proud of that young man. But again, thank you for having me this evening. I've prepared a brief slide deck. Maybe pause for a minute and all that gets pulled up.
Yeah, we're having a little.
Oh, shoot. I'll just I'll hold for a minute.
Technology is wonderful when it works.
Indeed.
Yeah,
It's a good proclamation.
yeah, there is a proclamation.
Proclamation for life and all. We still for it, still. What a bring your grandfather, you teach you
Okay, good.
Okay, City of Oxford, North Carolina, a proclamation saluting Elijah Long. Whereas the City of Oxford Board of Commissioners is the governing body of the City of Oxford, and whereas the J.F. Webb is a public high school in the Grambling County Public School System, and whereas J.F. Webb is a member of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and competes in the NCH SAA 5A Indoor State Championship meetings, and whereas Elijah Long is a senior at J.F. Webb High School and has been a member of the track team for 4 years. And whereas Elijah competed in 2 events at the 2026 NCH SAA 5A Indoor State Championship, the boys long jump finals and the boys high jump finals. And whereas he made his athletic director, Deontay Gannon, his jump coach, Alex Rain, and his assistant coaches, Graham Downey and Jordan Holloway, his team and his school, proud when he won the gold medal in the boys long jump finals with a jump of 22 feet and 3 inches, and a silver medal for the boys high jump finals with a high jump of 6 feet 2 inches. Wow. Whereas Elijah is the first state champion and state runner-up in J.F. Webb's indoor track and field history. That deserves a round. Whereas he has a 3.0 GPA and several colleges are interested in recruiting him. Now, therefore, I, Gabriel Nurse, Mayor of the City of Oxford, North Carolina, along with the Oxford Board of Commissioners, that's us, offer our sincere congratulations to Elijah Smith for his incredible achievement, and we wish him luck and success in his future endeavor. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand to cause the seal of the city of Oxford to be affixed on this, the 10th day of March, 2026. So, Elijah, I'd just like to say, as a JFL graduate, I am very proud of you. You have done a great thing for our city. You will be etched in history forever. You're in that. So we appreciate that. I want to congratulate your family, grandparents, and your coaches. It takes a village. And your achievement is not just yours, it's all about everybody that's built into you, but we're going to celebrate you forever. So thank you, keep working hard. You got a bright future. And if you need my help, let me know. I work for your mother. So we raise scholarships for people just like you. So I hope to see your application soon. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Rhodes. I met this young man in the first day of school. And he said to me, he said, Mayor, you can come back and congratulate you if you come in.
Me too.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
When we say hand up, you gonna get good. Yeah, we going back. Are you going back to school?
So, young men like Elijah Long are the kinds of young men that Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, and many of our leaders talked about. I am somebody, what Jesse Jackson said. And, you know, I'm honored that I get an opportunity to do this proclamation honoring Jesse Jackson. And I don't know how many of you have looked at the funeral on YouTube and other media, but I want you to listen to Jesse Jackson's, I believe it's his eldest daughter, talk about her experience with her dad and how when she was a little girl, Jesse Jackson used to put his hand above her hand and teach her how to pray. He would take his hand and put it above her hand and teach her cursive writing. And she said, and then at the end of my dad's life, I took my hand and helped him eat. I took my hand and helped him write little notes when he wanted to say thank you to folks. Now, isn't that amazing that a 50-year-old daughter talks about a father who helped her learn how to write, and then how she had to do it for him at the end of his time. So let me get to the proclamation. Whereas Jesse Louis Jackson was born on October 8, 1941, in Greenville, South Carolina, and from his humble beginnings, he became an influential voice in the civil rights. And whereas in 1965, he participated in the Selma and Montgomery marches organized by James Bell, Martin Luther King, and other civil rights leaders in Alabama. King soon gave Jackson a role in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, And whereas he graduated with a BS degree in sociology, then attended Chicago's Theological Seminary. He left the seminary in 1966, 3 classes short of getting his master's degree, to focus full time on the civil rights movement. And whereas Jackson was ordained as a minister in 1968, and in 1971, he founded the National Rainbow Coalition, PUSH, People United to Serve Humanity, which later merged to fight for social justice and economic equality. And whereas as an international activist, Reverend Jesse Jackson negotiated the release of hundreds of human shields, foreign nationals, including Americans, British and French citizens, held by Saddam Hussein in Iraq and Kuwait in 1990 and 1991. And whereas for more than 6 decades, Reverend Jackson stood with the poor, the working class, immigrants, and refugees, advocating for fair wages, human immigration policies, access to education, peace, and human rights, while reminding the nation of its obligation to live up to the highest ideals. And whereas in 2000, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, I wonder who gave him that. And whereas Reverend Jackson passed away peacefully in February of 2026, leaving a legacy of continued guided movement towards freedom, equality, dignity for all people. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor of the City of Oxford, along with the Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize and honor Reverend Jackson for his contributions to the civil rights movement, immigration, peace, human rights, in witness whereof I hereto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Oxford to be affixed on this, the 10th day of March, 2026, Guillermo Nurse. He was a great man. And I think I was 10 or 11 when I first recognized the great leader he was and how he made me feel good as a young Black man. And he will be sorely missed. Thank you.
I believe that Mr. Jackson made a trip to Oxford at one time, and he was brought here by Mr. McCoy, who was campaigning for him at that time, many years ago. So he did have presence here in the city of Oxford. And maybe we should give this to Mr. McCoy.
All right.
He keeps history.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
For the collection. Added to his collection, these
That a Central grad
Yeah.
draft.
Well deserved. Thank you.
And if you look downstairs in the lobby on the first floor, everything displayed down there is a product of Mr. McCoy. And he has history from way back then of everything that happened in the city and in the nation. So that's it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. It did speak this time. Mr. McCray.
So this proclamation is for the saluting Women's History Month, which is for the month of March 2026. City of Oxford, North Carolina, proclamation saluting Women's History Month, March 2026. Whereas throughout the history of our nation, women have played a vital role in shaping our communities, strengthening families, advancing education, and building the institutions that support our democracy. And whereas women in the city of Oxford and across Granville County have contributed immeasurably to the growth, resilience, and spirit of our community through leadership, public service, business, education, healthcare, faith, volunteerism, and civic engagement. And whereas Women's History Month provides an important opportunity to recognize and celebrate the achievements, courage, wisdom, and perseverance of women whose dedication continues to inspire future generations. And whereas the women of Oxford, mothers, daughters, educators, entrepreneurs, public servants, healthcare workers, faith leaders, and community advocates, serves as pillars of strength and compassion, helping guide our city forward with vision, integrity, and purpose. And whereas the city of Oxford is strengthened every day by the leadership, resilience, and dedication of women who serve our community as educators, healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs, public servants, faith leaders, volunteers, and advocates, women whose vision, wisdom, and commitment help guide Oxford forward and inspire future generations and leaders. And whereas the women of Oxford not only lead in their professions and public service, but also serve as mentors, caregivers, and community builders, uplifting families, strengthening neighborhoods, and shaping a brighter future for the generations to come through their compassion, courage, unwavering commitment to service. And whereas by honoring the legacy and leadership of women, we reaffirm our commitment to building a community where every woman and girl is encouraged to pursue her dreams, share her talents, and contribute fully to the progress of our city. Now, therefore, I, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor and the Board of Commissioners of the City of Oxford, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Women's History Month in the City of Oxford, and encourage all residents to recognize, celebrate, and honor the remarkable contributions of women in our community and throughout our nation. Let us take this time to express our gratitude and appreciation for the women who continue to lead, serve, inspire, and strengthen the City of Oxford each and every day. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal for the City of Oxford, North Carolina, to be affixed on this 10th day of March 2026. Signed, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor, City of Oxford. And while I have the floor, let me thank each and every one of you women in here today for what you do, for what you will do in the future. Know that what you do matters. You know, everything you do matters. And always know that you have a small set of eyes looking at you. So I would encourage you to continue to set that example. Continue to be the phenomenal, magnificent women that you are, because it's truly you all that are building the next generation. So I personally thank you for all you do, and I bid each one of you Godspeed. I guess Mr. Toby has
Thank
something
you,
he wants to share
Commissioner.
as well.
Yes, I do. I think that this proclamation should go to a wonderful woman of Oxford who last night became the John Penn Citizen of the Year. Deandra, Mother Love. Everybody's heard of Mother Love and the work she does in Oxford. I'd like you to have this. Appreciate you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Snyder, are we ready for?
Yes, we do.
No. Not working?
Mr. Stan, I think you're ready.
Okay. That's right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Certainly feel it more appropriate for me to follow what you just shared. So yeah, we are indeed very proud of Elijah. That's a remarkable athletic accomplishment. So thank you for recognizing him. But I think more importantly, he's just an exceptional student and is a great role model to his peers. So I appreciate you spotlighting him tonight. So again, thank you very much for having me here this evening. I've got a brief PowerPoint presentation for you. And as I shared, I'm glad to be accompanied by 3 of my board members. Next slide, if you would, Mr. Stein. I want to start by just thanking all of you who participated in Read Across America Week last week. I was out in schools reading, and whenever I checked in, I saw on this, I just saw a lot of names that I recognized from this board that had been there or about to be there, spending time with our children reading. So I think probably this board more than any other in the county was more active. So kudos to you for getting out there and reading to our children. You know, it's enjoyable for us adults to go in and do that, but it really means a lot to the children. It does. It shows them that you care, you're taking the time, and it's not just reading a lot of times. I know that you're having conversations with them and just leading by example. So thank you all for your time. It means a lot. So tonight, I just wanted to go over a couple of items and be available for any questions you may have. Wanted to give you an update about our number one strategic priority, which is safety. Talk a little bit about where we are with school consolidations. I know that's a big topic. And then I wanted to share with you a little bit about our efforts in finding a balance when it comes to technology in education. And lastly, just give you some updates on some future partnerships that the mayor and I and the city manager have talked about. So look forward to sharing those. But safety, it's our number one priority, keeping our students and our staff safe. I'm so excited. We have 15 school resource officers. So we have one at every single campus, and we have 2 at each of our traditional high schools. So this is the best coverage we have ever had, and it is making such a tremendous difference. And you all are playing an extremely important role in that, in agreeing to provide and fund a school resource officer at CG Cradle Elementary School. And I'd like to just give a special shout out to School Resource Officer Hargrove, who has now been there for several months. He is doing a fantastic job. If you've driven down College Street about 7:15 in the morning, 7 o'clock, he's there. His car right there. It has such a calming, slowing effect on traffic. He's out there directing traffic, helping children across the street, greeting everyone, speaking to them, saying hello to our families. Comes into the school, he's a mentor, he's a role model, he's going around visiting classes. You know, he's just very present and very personable. And Principal Williamson really appreciates it, and we do too. It's a fantastic addition to our safety team. So I told Mayor Nurse I was gonna give him a special shout out because he truly deserves it. So thank you for providing this position and giving such an excellent person. Next, school consolidation. As you probably are already aware, our Board of Education has been taking a hard look at our footprint across the county over recent years, and it's been quite difficult. But unfortunately, it's also been necessary. In many of the presentations we've shared in our board meetings and at county meetings, you know, what's driving this is the loss of enrollment. And this can be attributed to several things. Traditional public schools, of course, have been competing with public charter schools for over a decade now. But we're also seeing an expansion of private school vouchers, which are actual checks that individuals can get to go attend a private school, taxpayer funded. That's growing. And then we have parents that are also selecting to homeschool their children. But another phenomenon that's happening in Granville County is the reduction of school-aged children that live in this county. We went back and looked at some numbers, and in 2005, 2006, we were up close to 9,000 school-aged children that live in our county. We are now down to about 7,500. So we're down almost 1,500 children, 1,500 fewer children that live in our county, even though the overall population in Granville County is growing. And this is the phenomenon that's not unique to us. Wake County, which has been building schools left and right for years, for the first year showed a decline in enrollment. Kindergarten, first grade enrollment across the state is down more than 6% this year. People are not having as many children. You know, for a variety of reasons. And there's also, been an effect that we can't quite measure related to immigration as well. That could also contribute. But the bottom line is there are fewer children that we have to serve. So we do not need the same number of facilities. So we've been trying very hard. Our board is doing a lot of work on this. So for the 26-27 school year, we're going to have 6 elementary schools. Wilton Elementary School will close. Those children most of them are redistricted to Tar River, some to Mount Energy. And for those of you that aren't that familiar with that part of the county, Tar River Elementary School is less than a mile away from Wilton. Mount Energy is about 3 miles away. So really, this will not change the amount of time children spend on buses. It will not increase our class sizes. It's just a movement of children to different facilities where we have the space. And we're going to save a lot of money by doing this. Last year, I think I came and shared with you that we did a big change with our secondary schools. So this was a work around our elementary. So we now have, next year we'll have 10 traditional schools, Granville Early College High School, which is an application school. You can graduate there with an associate's degree and a high school diploma. And then we have Granville Academy, which is our K-12 blended school. And then Phoenix Academy is our alternative school. So we'll have a total of 13 schools on 12 campuses next year. So what has this meant? I'm sorry, not yet. On the right there, you can just see some of the big numbers. And I mean, we can drill down a lot deeper, but the closures and consolidations that have occurred over the last 2 years have resulted in a $4 million savings. And that's a recurring savings over time. And just to put that in context, our total budget is under 100 million. So this is like a 5% savings. And when you're operating on razor thin margins, that's a lot of money. Our fund balance is right at about that now. So we don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to our budget. But we've also, by closing, the board has been strategic in closing the older campuses. We are avoiding a lot of maintenance and capital outlay liability. Schools that were past their time, honestly, and that have a lot of issues, air quality issues, roof leaks, et cetera. So it saved the board a lot of money. But what I like to focus on when I'm talking about this is that it's better for students in the long run. Yes, there is a short-term disruption that is difficult for a lot of families. And I know that it's heartbreaking to some of them. But by consolidating, we're able to offer more programs, more elective courses, and direct our very finite resources to better serve our kids. And at the secondary level, it's done wonders for our athletic and extracurriculars as well. So, I really hate that we've had to close schools, but I do believe that it's been necessary, and I'm very proud of our board and the way they've gone about it in a very deliberate and informed way. So I hope that this will be the end of consolidation. But, it's difficult to say what the future holds. A lot of people point towards the growth that's coming, and maybe that will help turn things around. But again, it's all about this number of school-age children that come here as well. And then, of course, state policy with regard to vouchers and other schools, so forth. So next slide, please. So let me shift gears and talk to you a little bit about what we're doing instructionally. Really proud of the progress that our schools have made academically. I think I've shared with you that as a district last year, when you put all of our students together, we exceeded academic growth in math and ELA for the first time ever. And we now, we had 9 low performing schools. We now only have 4. And our goal is to have 0. So we're heading in the right direction. But one of the ways that we're trying to do this is by trying to strike a balance with the use of technology in our schools. As you all know, 3 years ago, we instituted a cell phone ban. And that was K-8. This last year, we took it to high school too. And it's been a game changer. It's so refreshing. When I was at Webb a week or so ago, and I met Elijah, I was in the cafeteria. And it's so different. Like the kids are talking to each other now when they're sitting there eating lunch. They don't all have their heads down looking at their phones during lunch. And you go into a classroom and it's the same. The teachers can see their eyes again. So now I'm not saying we don't have those that try to get over on us, right? We have students will play all kinds of tricks. You know, they're teenagers. They'll have a burner phone and they'll have their good phone and they'll swap you the wrong one. We had a student try to smuggle in a phone within a bag of Cheetos, an open bag of Cheetos. He set it down and it kind of made a clunk. Pulled that phone out, it was like orange dust and the microphone and everything. Anyway, I mean, it's not perfect, but we're trying very hard to make school a safe space. So we're also doing this though. I believe you can go to the next slide if I'm not correct. Yeah, so off and away all day and it's not just cell phones, because I'm gonna tell y'all, it's the earbuds, it's the watches, and we've even seen a couple of kids lately with the Google eyewear.
Oh,
It's coming, and I don't know what's next. So all that together, no, they see it, they take it. So I think there's one more slide, if I'm not. Yes. So this year we've taken it a step further. We now have what we call tech-free Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, you know, back in COVID, every single one of our kids got a Chromebook, right? The federal government just poured money into that so our kids could have access when they were at home. And it did not go well. It was a terrible experiment. And we're playing catch up. So this year, we've declared Tuesdays and Thursdays to be, let's unplug. Let's go get back to the basics. And we've helped try to support our teachers in this, providing lessons that are paper pencil, that are using actual books. You know, all of our textbooks now have an accompanying consumable workbook that the students can write in, you know, and take home with them and use. So we're trying to protect that time. And this was inspired by a book that I read last year, and I've gotten a copy for each of our board members and for each of our principals. And Mayor, I'm going to give you a copy right here tonight. It's called The Digital Delusion, and I urge you to read it and then share or maybe buy a copy for your board if you're inclined. Brent, you probably got some extra money there.
I'm his reading buddy.
Okay. But we're all reading it, and I've actually got a task force set up to look at how we're going to continue to push this forward. But it lays out the research for why this is so important. Ed tech, big tech in education is making billions of dollars off of our children. And the research, the data shows it's not working. Not only is it not working, it's causing lots of problems. Lots of problems with students' mental health, their ability to think critically, to read and comprehend what they're reading. You and I were just having a conversation before the meeting. The state, when they test reading, they're testing the reading of our students on the integrated test on a computer. The children they aren't even able to write or underline anything or annotate. They have to look at a computer and click.
It's not right.
So, you know, we got to strike a balance. We're not anti-technology because we know how important it is, but we're pro-learning. So that's something that we're working on. I'm really proud of our board. They recently, this past summer, crafted a proclamation and unanimously passed it in support of this, trying to find a balance, an appropriate balance. So I hope you guys will kind of start hearing about this and seeing it and support us in this work.
Absolutely.
Very important. All right, last slide. I just wanted to share with you all, I'm really excited. The mayor has been so involved in our schools, you know, just in them all the time and coaching our basketball, assistant coach for our basketball team. But he reached out to me recently, and we're going to start in April, correct, sir? We're going to send you all, one of our students from JF Webb, to be a mayor for the day. And he's going to shadow Mayor Nurse and the staff and get to see what's going on. And we're going to try to make it a monthly event, alternating between the high school and middle school, hopefully. And if it goes well this spring, we're going to continue it next fall as well. Excited about that. And then we also got to talking about internships. We have a pretty robust program in Granville County Public Schools for summer internships, not just in businesses in Granville County, but also within our organization. We have a lot of students sign up with us to explore careers. They may be interns for our own technology department, or they may work if they aspire to be a teacher, they might come to our summer school and work. Or maybe they'll go to our transportation department if they're into mechanics, that type of thing. We even have some students that do internships in child nutrition over the summer when we do serve meals. So anyway, we have this program set up, and students can earn up to $1,800 for 4 weeks of work. And the mayor and I were talking, and he would like to find a way for you all to provide some internship positions that we can select students and send to. And I've checked, and we will be able to cover the costs financially through grants that we have. So we just need to know what positions you have available. It would be during the month of June, 4 weeks, Monday through Thursday, for a total of 16 full days. So I'm sure I'll be having follow-up conversations with you, city manager and mayor as well. But that's exciting. Would love to get them involved with that. Your various departments. Mayor, I think we discussed, your Parks and Rec, your water treatment facilities. They could be in your office, your executive team, all kinds of
Can
opportunities.
work with the planning director too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Very nice there.
Cheryl would like.
We have some very talented students I'm sure would love to do it, and I'm sure you'd enjoy having them. Those are mostly rising juniors and seniors. And then lastly, again, I just wanted to thank you all so much for your volunteer work and promoting volunteers to come into our schools. It's been a fantastic partnership. So with that, I'll stop and see if you have any questions.
I've always got questions.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Winmore, Stan, you know me, always got quiz. And with the closure of some of these schools, unfortunately, how about the jobs that go with the teachers? Where do they go? Where did the janitor go?
Yes, sir.
Or the support staff?
Yeah.
What happens to that?
That's a great question. So last year when we effectively closed 3 schools, and we ended up with 2 high schools and 2 middle schools. It impacted over 350 employees. And by the time the dust settled, there was only 1 individual who was not able to continue employment with us. Only 1. Now, in order to prepare for all that, we follow our Board of Education's policy on reduction in force, which lays out sort of the criteria for how that process is followed. And we create rubrics and we rank all of our employees. And then we try to find places for people through attrition. And we are very optimistic that we'll be able to do the same for this school year, but I can't promise. But our priority is always to protect our people.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bridges.
Yeah, that was actually kind of my question. But the other thing I was wondering about is what happens to that closed school, that facility?
Yes, sir.
What,
Yes, it's a great question. So our board, if they have a facility that's no longer being used, they can declare it surplus. And they did that, for example, with Joe Toller Elementary School. And then once it's declared surplus, they have to offer it to the county for first right of refusal to see if the county wants to take ownership. Now, so it was done similar with Hawley, followed that process. When it came to Toller, the county did not want it, so we put it out for upset bid to the public, and an individual purchased it and still owns it, I believe. Hawley, the county did want it. We basically transferred ownership. There was no exchange of money, but the understanding there was that there would be a really beautiful recreational facility that would be placed there. And Granville County Public School students have priority use over that facility. Right now, Butner STEM Elementary School is empty. Those students moved to the previous campus of Butner Middle School. And so our board has declared that property surplus. And the county has indicated to us that they would like that property, but transfer has not occurred yet. Mary Potter is another property that our board needs to figure out what's going to happen with, because
We'll take it at no cost.
We'll take it.
well, that's something I'll have to discuss with my board.
Correction, we will buy it for $1.50, which is 50 cents more than the county. So we'll take it for $1.50.
Well, it's certainly
Great idea.
$2.
it is a fantastic location and has immense historical value, and I think it needs to continue serving the community in an important way. I will share with you, it is in horrific shape. If you go into that building now, you need to wear personal protective equipment. The mold is awful, and it really needs to be bulldozed. Unfortunately, it would require. Obviously anyone would need to get some professional opinions, but we actually had architects come out a couple of years ago and evaluate the cost for refurbishing the campus, and it was astronomical. And there is asbestos in parts of the building as well, and all the mechanical systems need to be replaced. So it's something that will require a lot of examination and deliberation. But again, our board has not acted on that yet. We've moved everyone out of that facility except for Phoenix Academy, because they're in a separate building up the hill, and they will be moving this summer. So it will be completely vacant starting this summer.
Where are they moving to?
Creedmoor, the old Creedmoor Elementary School, and that's where Granville Academy and Phoenix Academy are, right beside South Granville.
With the savings that you all have, the number one issue with school systems in North Carolina is teacher salaries.
Yeah.
And we're starting to hear a little bit of buzz in our state legislature again about teacher salaries. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will do the right thing. But is there anything that the Granville County public school system can do with some of those savings in regards to recruitment of good teachers or retention of teachers?
Well, first of all, I thank you for pointing that out. I've learned that North Carolina is now ranked, I think, 50th in teacher compensation. That is the latest update.
I thought it was 49, but it's 59. It was 49.
We're 49.
So
Yeah, it was 49.
let that sink in. It's horrific. Now, the legislature has done some to increase the base pay for beginning teachers, but they have left all of the salaries for 15-year, 20-year veteran teachers have gotten nothing in the last 7 or 8 years, no increases. So it's terrible. So yes, I think they need to have starting pay of at least $50,000 and then step everybody up accordingly after that. Maybe we could attract some talent back. People would think twice before not choosing a career in education. But unfortunately, all of the salaries are set by the state. We do have a local supplement, but that funding comes from our county commissioners. The savings that we've gotten from school consolidation have just allowed us to keep our head above water, to continue operating not at a deficit.
That's this.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
I know you said that I know we don't have a crystal ball to look into to see what the future holds, but I know we are right now, so we're down roughly about 1,500
School-age children.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, overall. So do we have a contingency in place for two things? One, if that number continues to drop, and and God willing that it reverses.
Yes, sir.
And that maybe a year or two from now, instead of we having that deficit, we have a surplus of. So do we have contingencies in place, or which I'm quite sure you do, have contingencies in place on either side of the aisle, either direction that it may go?
So if we continue to lose students, that's just going to be very painful, those discussions, because honestly, there are no easy decisions remaining, and that's something our board will have to face. And just as a reminder, all decisions about school closure and consolidation are solely the work of the board. I'm just an advisor in that matter. They have the complete authority, the sole authority to make those decisions. If the enrollment were to increased, let's say growth came and enrollment increased, we can absorb some. We still have excess capacity at our schools. For example, at JF Webb, we have about 700 students. The school has held before 1,200. So, South Granville's getting a little tight, but we have room at Northern Granville Middle School. Cradle can take another 100 students. West Oxford can take a few more. But if worst case, the best case, if a lot of students started to come, we may have to temporarily put out mobile units or something. But the county has signaled that if they come, then it will be time to build a new, modern, beautiful school that our children deserve. Because the tax revenue would come. Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Winmore?
Yes, ma'am.
I went to the county meeting. Of the 7,500, not all are in our public schools, right? Some are in the charter schools, correct?
That's correct.
Right,
Yes.
so what's the 13 is not even the 7,500.
Thank you
It's
for-
a lot less than that.
Thank you
I
for
just
pointing
want
that
to make
out.
sure that they understood it's a lot less in our public school system.
Yes, ma'am. That's a great point. I'm talking total number of school-age children in the county. We
Right.
have only about just under 6,000 students now.
Right.
Mr. Winborn.
Yes, sir.
I heard what you said about the testing on the reading on how they do it now, everything on the computer and stuff like that. And I'm just curious because a lot of times when I see our young adults write nowadays, it's not as common that I see them write cursive. Is that still a curriculum in our high schools?
No, sir. It's only part of the curriculum in, I believe, 3rd and 4th grade, and it's not a very large part of the curriculum.
Hmm.
Yep. It's a dying skill, quite
Yeah.
frankly. And, one thing that I'm alarmed about is just handwriting. Just plain old print is terrible. It's after, I'd say 3rd or 4th grade, everyone migrates to the keyboard.
Mm.
So I want to try to rebalance that. It's so important to get the fine motor skills, get those, good penmanship.
And I get what you're saying about wanting to have the students hands-on the way a lot of us was educated
Yeah.
coming up, because when it comes to technology with the power grid and everything, and everything that's going on around the world, if the power grid go down, technology go down. And if people don't know if they're not educated hands-on, it makes a difficult situation for society.
I agree.
If I could get this real quick, so I didn't. I had an opportunity to visit both Stovall Shaw and Wilton.
Mhm.
I just want to commend the staff. Like I said, I read for the 3rd graders at Stovall Shaw, 4th at Wilton. Well, maybe it was vice versa, 4th at Stovall. But the staff, you have some amazing staff.
Sorry.
The teachers and the principals that I had the opportunity to speak with before and after are phenomenal folks. I know a lot of times it's human nature for us to, when things are going bad, to really hammer and kind of push that narrative of just how bad. But the staff that I spoke with do a phenomenal job with the kids. So I thank them, and I want to thank you, the board, as well. Because let it be known, they are some phenomenal.
Thank you, sir.
They do an outstanding job with what they do.
I appreciate you lifting them up. They certainly deserve it.
Oh, very much.
And I know our board, all three of them former educators right there. So they know all too well. They've been there and done that. And they, I'm sure, agree completely. I do this thing called a superintendent takeover every so often, and I let staff put their name in a drawing, and I come take over their job for an hour. And this week I went and taught a 4th grade class, and I was there for an hour, and it felt like 6. It was wonderful, but it is a demanding, difficult, and extremely important job.
Speaking of which, I was at Wilton, and I did notice the class size. And I remember in college taking educational courses, how they talked about a small class size, how that was important. And when I was in school, we had teacher assistants. And I commended the teacher. I looked at all of those kids in there. They were well behaved. We had a great discussion, but that is a lot of children to teach for one person.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely something that you all will have to address. But again, for all our teachers in Granville County, I shout them out. I commend them. They're doing a tremendous job. And whether you go to Webb, I go to Webb a lot. Kids are well behaved,
Yeah.
regardless of what the rumors may be. Go to the school.
Yes.
That's what I encourage anybody to
Yes.
do. Go to the school
Thank
and
you.
they'll buzz you in and go around lunchtime because that's when all of them are out and about. Our educators are doing a phenomenal job, and thank you to the board. We want to continue to support you all, and you all are doing a hard job, probably the hardest job of all the boards in Granville County. So I salute you all for the work that you all are doing.
I've just got one more question. The check-free days, you had Tuesdays and Thursdays now. If I remember rightly, wasn't it just one day last year or the year before?
At the end of last year, I was toying around with one day, but
So
decided to
you've
go
gone on
to
to 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And I've got to apologize to members of the board. I was at a school board meeting a while back and I gave you a hard time about closing the school. But I know you as a board know how difficult it is to make decisions, the same as we know how difficult it is. So we appreciate you, we really do.
Mr. Toby, don't give them a hard time. They're gonna give us their product.
Oh, you're such nice people.
I was recently invited to Marine Joy Charter School in Durham. And I was surprised the amount of students that from Oxford. And some of the students from Buckner STEM that goes there. Mainly the driving factor is their parents work in RTP.
Yep.
So it's easier for them to have their school close to their jobs.
Yeah.
And that's what part of the problem you have. So, then I just want to say thank you very much. And this is the board of the school. I think we should add some money from your budget because all the teachers, all the commissioners go to school constantly. So we will take a stipend. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes delegation. We move to public comments.
Public comment. Citizens may speak on agenda or non-agenda items at this time. Citizens wishing to address the board should register their name, address, and the subject they wish to address with the city clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. To maintain order and decorum, we encourage speakers to be courteous and respectful during this portion of the meeting in which citizen input is heard. Please refrain from profanity, inappropriate gestures, insults, personal attacks, or accusations. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes.
This time I call on Mr. Larry Thomas, LT, from 207 East Front Street.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just have 3 items. I would like to know where the city is in the hiring process for the following department heads: Public Works Director, City Engineer, and Police Chief. Number 2, over the next 5 years, Oxford's approved CIP plan lists the following major projects costing in excess of $1 million. Police and Fire Complex, $12 million. Recreation Center, $11 million. Hicks Park Amphitheater, $3 million. Aquatic Center, $16 million. Expansion of the wastewater treatment plant, $73 million. Wastewater UV rehabilitation, $1 million. Not listed, but mentioned at various board meetings, additional office space at City Hall. To this list, I would suggest you include a new public works facility. Number 3, I'm concerned about the city providing water to the airport. I'm assuming the majority of this water will be used for fire suppression. How is the city going to structure the contract as to not impact the growing demand for residential, commercial, and industrial development water? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Next is Ms. Deanna Gardner.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Deanna Gardner, and as you know, I operate Mother Love Inc. Tonight, I'm respectfully asking of you to consider zoning and designating a specific area in Oxford as a legal managed encampment for our unhoused residents. This is not about encouraging homelessness. It's about managing a reality that already exists in a way that reduces strain on our city resources, improves safety, and creates structure instead of displacement. Right now in Oxford, unsheltered individuals are scattered throughout wooded areas, vacant lots, private property. Many have accumulated repeated trespassing charges. I sat in court last week with one of our unhoused, and he's quite the character, Mr. James. And he has a lengthy history of trespassing charges. Um, he came to mind immediately when I wanted to speak tonight. Um, Not because they're violent or disruptive. Mr. James has trespassed and he had a $2 larceny charge. Um, a record filled with trespassing charges does not stabilize someone. It makes rebuilding harder. If we designate a central zone location, much of that cycle can be avoided. There is already an area locally where individuals have lived for nearly a year with minimal disturbance. That tells us something important. Stability improves behavior. When people are not constantly displaced, conflict decreases, complaints decrease, and outreach becomes possible. A managed encampment would provide a lawful place to exist, reduce trespassing incidents, centralize outreach and case management, organize sanitation and waste service, a clear code of conduct, and a greater safety for both residents and the surrounding community. Structure creates accountability, and accountability creates progress. I do want to point out there is an example. In Wake County, they have the Eliza Park project. Wake County recognized that unmanaged displacement is not a solution. By identifying structured, designated areas, they have worked towards balancing public safety, sanitation, and human dignity. Oxford may be smaller, but the principle is the same. Planned management is more effective than reactive enforcement. If we do not plan intentionally, we simply push people from one hidden corner to another. A designated encampment supports community order. It prevents scattered camps. It allows consistent outreach. It reduces emergency calls in unsafe areas, and it provides visibility and oversight. From a fiscal standpoint, repeated cleanups, court proceedings, and enforcement actions cost more than structured coordination. From a public safety standpoint, centralization improves monitoring and response. From a moral standpoint, excuse me, giving someone a lawful place to exist affirms their humanity. These are members of our community. Some grew up here, some worked here, some have children enrolled in our schools. They deserve to feel seen and safe, just as any resident should. I respectfully ask that this board explore zoning options for a designated encampment, review frameworks successfully used in other counties as a model, consider partnerships with local nonprofits for structured oversight, present this to our Granville County Coalition to evaluate feasibility, safety protocols, and community impact. We cannot solve affordable housing overnight, but we can reduce harm immediately. We can reduce unnecessary trespassing charges. We can create order instead of chaos. And we can move one reactive displacement to intentional management. I know that each of you care deeply about this city. You've invested your time, energy, and your leadership into making Oxford stronger, safer, and more unified. And I believe this is one of those moments where you can make a decision that quietly shapes our community for years to come. Homelessness is not someone else's issue, it's ours. These are our neighbors, our former classmates, veterans, parents, children. When we give someone a lawful place to exist, we are not lowering standards, we are raising them. We are saying that in Oxford, every life has value. A designated space does more than organize land. It restores dignity. It replaces fear with stability. It replaces displacement with direction. When people feel seen, they begin to believe they matter. And when they believe they matter, they begin to move forward. This is not about just about zoning. It's about who we choose to be as a city. I believe Oxford can be the balance of order and compassion, structure with humanity, policy with heart. And I stand ready to work alongside you to help make that vision real. Thank you for your openness and your willingness to listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This time we'll call Mrs. Juanita Rogers, Gladys Haley and Santa Fe.
Good evening. Mayor Nurse, City of Oxford, Board of Commissioners, and County Manager Taylor. We are immensely grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you tonight about Curtain Call Summer Camp. On January the 3rd, 2026, a letter was mailed to the mayor and the city manager requesting support for this upcoming summer camp at Orange Street Community Center. However, we did not receive any type of acknowledgement, but we hope that you will consider us when you propose your budget. For generations, the Orange Street Community Center has stood as a place where people from all walks of life come together. In June of 2025, we offered a camp to students or kids in Granville County with anticipation of receiving about 25 children. However, we ended up with 44 children to enroll, paying only $10. In many cases, some would come and they couldn't even afford the $10. So we allowed them to come anyway. Gladys Hawley will tell you about some of the activities that we have planned this year for the students. And in addition to the activities, I want to say to you that we provide them with a breakfast and a lunch. And I think that's a lot for $10. Our summer program is especially vital because many children during the summer can be a time of isolation for them, unmet needs and lost opportunities for growth. So that's why we are here tonight asking for your support in the Curtain Call Summer Camp. This time Gladys Hawley will tell you about some of the proposed activities.
Good afternoon. My name is Gladys Hawley. I am excited to be here tonight because I see so many parents of students that I taught. Mr. Curtis McCray, I think half of the year I called you McCray, so just excuse that. He had his daughter is teaching now, was a lovely student, Stan Winborn. I had the opportunity to teach his daughter, Helen Lindsay, let's see, Katrina Waters, and maybe some others. And the young man that receives the award here, I taught his sister. So I have a great part in that. We will be teaching at that summer camp music, art, and drama. My sister Sandra here majored in drama, and she will be doing the drama part of the camp. I will be doing my sister flying down from Chicago will be doing the music. She used to be the music teacher at Way Up. And we will also have some puppetry and a time machine this year. Students will get into a time machine and learn about famous people. So I hope you all will continue to support this program because I'm happy to be a part of it. I continue to love working with students. And Mayor, you were there this past summer. And every time I looked, you were taking pictures. So please, please, I would like to get some of those pictures from you. Thank you.
Got to ask the question.
The 5 through 12.
5 to
Yeah.
12.
Fine.
Was that your question?
No. It wasn't.
You can get them after.
I wanted to know roughly how much a child they need.
Okay, moving along, we have Mr. Ed Reed from 230 Lanier Street, Oxford.
Greetings, Mayor, City Commissioner, City Managers and Commissioners. It's me again about the same thing, about that speed bump that we was up here last year talking about. And I think it was right up in the paper that Lanier Street and Broad Street probably would be getting a speed bump. But we haven't heard from anyone, we haven't seen anyone. The stop signs still, that people still going through them. So, but we thinking about the safety of the community, but seem like the board is not thinking about our safety and our complaints about the safety of the community.
That's not for you, sorry.
So,
Keep going.
so we would like to find out what's going to happen or what's going on. Will there be any safety bump, or will there be some type of warning lights put up around those stop signs where people could see? Because people still speeding right through.
We agreed that extra stop sign.
You talked about extra stop sign.
Right, extra stop sign
Yeah.
and the lights, if we can get
Yeah.
the lights around.
Yeah,
Got it.
because if you put the stop sign, you need something around them for people can see, because they are like, they don't see the stop sign.
Yeah,
We had to-
At our,
Yeah.
at our committee meeting,
Yeah.
I proposed that we add an additional stop sign on Lee Street so that people have to stop halfway. Cause I used to live in that house right in front of Lee Street. And I proposed that we put an extra stop sign right there on where Lee Street is at. And one by the police department.
Okay.
So people will have to
Stop.
go.
Yeah.
And the proposal was that if the stop signs don't change nothing, that we would consider the speed cushions.
Well, we also did discuss, I know I, for me personally, when I used to go to church at the Maripotta Gym, I ran through that stop sign at least 5 times because I've been in Oxford all my life and there was never a stop sign there. So, my suggestion, like the one on 15, I don't miss that at all. I
That's what
stop
was
every
gonna
time.
bring up next about the one on 15 with the blinking lights.
Right,
around.
so, definitely, that was a strong suggestion that, and we are
That's
researching.
probably the best suggestion.
Yeah.
That's probably the best, well, that somebody can see before they get there.
So,
Right.
so I just want you to know that I am hearing you.
Oh,
And when was that committee? Maybe not even 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. 2 weeks.
And that was one of the main discussions that I brought up and I was pushing for.
Okay.
Because I know I still go up there see Thomas Young on top of the hill, so I know they ain't slowing down.
If no, we're coming in here, you can pick up some speed.
Yeah. So
They doing it too.
I still know y'all down on that street down there, and I go down there and check on some folks, and
All right.
I know what's going on.
Still there in the bottom.
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Reed.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And thank y'all.
This board is addressing that issue. This time we have Mr. Eddie McCoy from 408 Kingsbury.
Good afternoon. I'm Eddie McCoy, 408 Kingsbury Street. I'd like to thank the board for allowing me to put my exhibit in the City Hall for Black History Month. And if you haven't seen my exhibit downstairs, please feel free to look at it on your way out. Tomorrow I'll be taking it down. Tomorrow will be the last day I have it up, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate things like this. The mayor know, and another couple of friends on the board know that I appreciate things like this. It will not go in the trash can. You better believe that. I keep everything. I keep everything from 1975 when I came back here. Anything that I participate in, I have it in my house. And then you can, and I can get my hands on it. It's not in boxes where I can't find it. If you give me time, I can find it. I cherish everything I get. And my dear friend, a lot of you didn't know that I was one of the generals that had Jesse Jackson come to First Baptist Church. I was the delegate to the Democrat National Convention as a delegate. And I introduced Reverend Jackson at First Baptist Church in '88. So been around a long time. Marches, Washington, D.C., you name it. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I think the mayor, they gave me my opportunity last time I was here, I couldn't say anything. You know, that's not like me. I just couldn't say, I appreciate it. Anything I can do for the city, I'm always here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
This time that concludes our public comment, and we move to city business. Public hearing, city business.
The first item of business tonight is to do 4.1 presentation for the rezoning request by Bennett Elkin Lee of North Point Developers.
What about this? City manager?
Did we have before?
Tell me there's, what about some?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, at the end.
You, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager, City Attorney. Thank you for your time tonight. Be relatively brief, obviously open to questions. I want to talk about what you want to talk about, not what we want to talk about. My name is Mark Hall with North Point Development. First of all, I want to thank the staff, City Manager and Planning Director for the work that we've collaborated on for almost a year to get to this point. Second, I want to say that we're here to address the issue that the superintendent brought up about decreasing the number of school-age students. So we understand that, or we believe that Oxford will continue to be a growing community, but what you're looking for is quality growth, managed and controlled growth. And so that's what we're going to present tonight. North Point is real estate development company focused on all aspects of. We are residential developers, commercial and industrial developers. I guess the big piece here is that we are community developers, not home builders. We work with home builders, but our goal is to look at the plan of the community and sort of build up to the market, to the top of the market, rather than sort of lowest common denominator. And so the difference that you'll see in some of our community plans will be a lot of green space, amenities, and thoughtful execution of a plan. Next slide, please. Just in terms of the technical piece, it's 85 acres. We think the final home site count will be a little over 200. Everything at this point falls within the ordinance. We're at about 2.4 units an acre. And again, what you'll see inside the plan is common space, green space, and amenities. Next slide. Just a location map so that everybody here can see where we are. Next slide. In our plan, you will note the designation of All of these open areas, playground. We've got a couple of lakes where we will build a dock, canoe launch, dog park, and just overall green space. Usually traffic is the big issue in any new community. We, as you can see here on the timeline, May 4th, we started the process, submitted the TIA to the DOT, and July 2nd, their review was complete. As you know, the DOT decides when and where they're going to be traffic signals, et cetera. We are in support of the traffic signal, but that will be dictated by the NCDOT based on warrants. Everything else we've done, everything we have proposed has been approved by the DOT. We just have this for your file. There's also an appendix at the end of this presentation that we're not going to go into, but again, just to show sort of the completeness of the work for your file. Next slide. The neighborhood meeting, as required by the city, was held May 27th. There were 3 big items that really came up. One was the connectivity to the neighboring parcels. We've addressed those on our plans, buffers. And then the big, the surprise was the discussion of a potential cemetery on the property. Next slide. At that point, yeah, okay, you can see how we've addressed connectivity, points A and B, and then a buffer alongside all of the home sites adjacent to that property. When we found out that there was a potential of the cemetery, we stopped all work and brought in the consultants, brought in a team that specializes in archaeological research. And as you can see here, 30 acres were investigated. We were able to identify the area, and in that place, the radar found 123 graves and 30 grave markers in an area about a half an acre. Our pledge to you is that we will be stewards of this property. It's sacred ground, it's holy ground. We believe that, we know that, and we will work with the city to address the protection, preservation of that land as need be. We've got 2 consultants that we're working with now that we'll continue to take input from on the full implementation of the plan, bring that to you at each step. But at the end of the day, that area needs to be protected and preserved. Inside the protected area is our idea that we will come up with an authority with the city to work with an HOA to make sure that long-term this area is protected. Next slide. That gives you a real clear indication of the property. existing cemetery and the protected area. It's not eligible, as we understand it, for a national register, but it is with the state. And obviously, we'll be coordinating with you, the consultants, and the state for all the appropriate plaque signage wording that goes to memorialize this place. We have proposed a workshop. We talked with the city manager about having a group that we work with in Savannah, not to say that there are things that you're not doing, but we would like to address with you long-term what those issues are. You know, affordability of housing is not just about finding a low-cost solution. It's about long-term pathways, creating pathways to home ownership and wealth creation. And so we'd like to continue to work with the city manager to set that up. Basically, best practices from the town that we have been working in the longest that faces the same issues, I guess, that every major city in the country does. In terms of time frame, after approval, we'll move to finalize our plans, probably be back to you in a month or two with exact lot count, et cetera. Anything that comes up in final review. From there, 6 months to construction plans, a year to put in the roads, 18 months from now begin construction on homes, and we hope within 2 years that families begin to move into the community. With that, I will leave it for questions.
Mr. Bridges. As it relates to the cemetery, that's, part of this development, I know you say y'all are gonna have consultants and talk about what's to happen. I'm just curious, have family members been contacted if folks are identified? I mean, I know there's 100 and some graves. Are they identified?
We have not been able to secure that identification at this point. And that's, to be honest with you, in all the years that I've done development, this is the first time that I've been in this situation. So as I said earlier, we're going to go slow.
Yeah.
And we're going to lean on the people that are experts in this. And I'll be back next month if it's appropriate to give you an update on whatever we find.
Right.
There are pretty exacting state requirements that we meet as we go through this. And I'll just say I'm not an expert, but I'm going to learn this process and I'm going to share it with you, and I'm going to be open.
I'm glad you're working with the state about this, because it is very important. It is very important. I believe the graves are so old, I don't know whether there's any family members even around.
Well, they're
Or
enslaved.
they can't even find them.
Well, they're enslaved, so it's
They
not
were
like,
slaves, there's no records.
well, it's not like,
no
yeah,
good
they
records.
had those kinds
That's the
of
problem.
headstones and such.
Yeah, but I respect the fact that you are respecting this site and
Yeah.
keeping it like that, and that's an enormous.
But if I were a family member,
right,
an ancestor, or
That's assuming they know it's there.
Exactly. I would want to know if I have, an ancestor.
We
there.
are no.
It was a surprise.
And so whatever the process might be, I mean, obviously, there may be some costs. I'd be interested in knowing. Somebody mentioned that it was there.
Right.
you know, because I got a couple of phone calls about this grave site. So hopefully there is some history that can help us maybe identify.
Well, we're an
Who's
open,
there?
we're an open book, and in context of the meeting that we've had here tonight, we understand. This is important. And we are stewards. This is not ours. This
You
is
have
yours.
someone directly behind you that can probably help you.
Yeah, right. The
And
local
if there's
historian.
anybody in Granville County that can help you, Mr. McCoy can definitely help you.
Let's get phone calls, phone numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Oh, Commissioner Kelly, go ahead.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on how the layout encourages community rather than just housing units?
Yeah, that's great question. We think that the common areas are the gathering places for the community. And when I see a neighborhood that is just one home after another with no green space, that eliminates sort of the gathering spots. And so the thing that we have done, and we've studied land planning, we've seen the results of it, but you have to create spaces that people can walk to, not drive, but walk to in the community, 5 to 7 minutes away from their home. And so that's exactly what we've done with this, and also to try to spread those amenities out, those gathering spaces, the green spaces throughout, not have them concentrated in one area, but spread through the entire community. So that's the essence of the plan.
Quick question. So the three areas, you mentioned a dog park and two other places, are those areas going to be in this, or they were just what you have done in?
Oh, they
in
will
other
be
areas?
in this,
So those common areas. will
in
be
this community, yes.
community. Okay.
I've heard dog park is a big thing. I've heard playground is a big thing. And
Only
For some of
for
us.
Dog park is a big thing.
the boat
The
launch
bay.
is pretty easy because we've got 2 lakes, so.
Just the simple fact that you planning on having amenities that are gonna encourage kids to come out of their houses and get on their bicycles
Right.
and do stuff like that, it's nice.
That's the essence of it. And again, not to be facetious, but in a growing community that wants to attract those families and children, it's important that you give them livable neighborhoods that include those things.
As we met, you and I and Commissioner McGee met this afternoon earlier, and we discussed the possibility of including a small amount of space for possibly a small fire station. And so I don't know. I know in our talks, I've never asked the chief to give us a plan for that, but tonight I'm formally asking you, like, if we could build something like that on some of these properties, what would you require? I don't think we've asked you that yet. You probably got in your head right now, but I'm not gonna put you on the spot. But yeah, our chief's always prepared. But in talking to the chief, as I told you, one of the things that we worry about is as we expand coverage for fire and just safety coverage, that's going to be an issue, whether it be ambulances, how close you are. And as you stated, it does the community a good service if they have protection close to the community. So that's just something going forward that we as a board, we're going to have to consider that we didn't have to consider in the past, because fire trucks could get to all of our communities in a few minutes. But now that's not going to be the case going forward. So that's just something that we're going to have to deal with. But we have to keep that in the front part of our brain when it comes to us dealing with new development such as this.
That's a great point, and it really is an asset for the neighborhoods and communities. The timing of those is what's so critical, because if you build them too early, it becomes a drain with not only construction, but staffing. And so we will work with you. I mentioned it to the city manager this afternoon, that we would debrief and talk in the following month to see if the city's plan anticipates something that soon, or if it's down the road, if it's 3 to 5 years from now, how we look at that, how we as developers and hopefully in Oxford, we're successful, and this will be one of a few projects that we work with you and show you what we've done in the past. I think I mentioned we're doing one right now with another municipality in the area. So understood.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I'll be giving you time.
You anticipate this to be just one phase, right?
I think it's one phase. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I will ask if there's anyone in public this section. From hearing now, is there anyone to the right who would like to speak on behalf of this project? Anyone here? Anyone that here with us would like to speak on behalf of questions? This time, public hearing is closed.
4.3, consider approving the conditional rezoning request of 85 plus or minus acres for the outer loop backing up the corner siding road. Staff recommends approving the rezoning request.
There a motion?
Make a motion that we accept.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Colby and second by Commissioner Bridges. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Item 4.4, hold a public hearing to receive citizen input regarding the non-contiguous annexation of 85 plus or minus acres development located on the outer loop backing up to Warner Siding Road.
Public hearing now open. Anyone here in the public at all would like to speak on this annexation? Sir, can you please come forward and identify yourself and your address? Thank you.
My name's Ron Kern. I own land adjoining this property, and I farm that land. I farmed it forever. And when y'all put this in the city, are y'all gonna come with buffer zones from the city telling me I can't do all my land and put restrictions on me?
Oh.
Y'all gonna spot zone. That's something you're never supposed to do. I was on the exterritorial committee for 12 years, and we could not spot zone. But y'all was spot zoning right here. So how can you do it now? You don't have any city land touching that land.
You can spot some.
Like,
You can spot some.
yeah, we can.
You can't spot
I
zone.
was
Why
wondering,
did they have,
Attorney,
back in the 80s, they had a big deal about it. None of y'all were here then, so.
I don't know. I wasn't here then, but I mean, I guess this is the first.
Y'all don't
I've
know
heard of
anything
it.
about the history of it.
Yeah,
Right.
so this is the first.
What I'm saying, are y'all gonna put restrictions on me?
I don't see it. No.
Y'all
That's
don't
it.
agree, y'all not putting any restrictions on me?
I,
may I ask Mr. Can I get Mr. Burnett or city attorney to
Well, you're not gonna be able to, set a restriction till you know what it is they're asking for.
Right.
You're asking for somebody to predict what the future's gonna be or what some other board might do in the future. I'm confident that when Ms. Hart reviews all of these projects, that's one of the first things that she looks at. And I don't think they would have recommended, the planning board would have recommended it, or Ms. Hart would have recommended it, or these nice folks coming up in here and trying to pull, to lead you astray. I mean, that's not really a fair question. I mean, the planning board and the planning director made a determination that there's not anything illegal about it. And I can understand wanting to know what might happen, but you can't always know what might happen.
Nothing like beneficial.
I understand your property is adjacent to it, that's what you're saying.
Georgia, yes, sir. And I bought the land and I pay tax on it. And I bought it for my family, my children to have and enjoy. And we hunt out there, high-powered rifles. And y'all gonna start telling me we can't hunt? That's what I want to know. I don't want any restrictions coming telling me, oh, we own the city now. Y'all can't hunt within half a mile of city limits. Is that gonna happen?
I haven't.
Sure, you want
I
to
don't
address
envision that.
questions about the spot annexation and the ETJ and all that.
I don't see.
Mr. Sergeant.
I don't see.
So yes, Mr. Karen did serve well on the planning board, and represented our ETJ area. So with the annexation, which is a non-contiguous annexation, we're just annexing this piece of property, has absolutely nothing to do with the adjoining properties. And any restrictions on your property, I would imagine that you will be considered to continue using your property. I think it's a farm, and you would consider to continue to farm that property. In terms of hunting, if you have some houses right there beside you, would you feel comfortable hunting and children may be out there? I mean, because the land is not going to stay vacant forever. So I would imagine anybody that's doing any hunting would do it with caution. So if it's an area right next door to you and you're shooting, I would imagine you would want to do it in a heavily populated area.
And I don't want a heavy populated area around me. That's what I'm telling
And I understand that, but
I understand.
but I don't want to.
well,
I mean,
and I understand that, but we do, when we receive plans, we do have to do it in a fair manner. And, if they want to develop it, they want to have houses, we're to look at the various plans we have in place. And that's why it was approved, because it is consistent to our maintenance plan. And planning board made that determination.
Well, you wouldn't be firing to.
While I don't know where the city is, they go where they can go. But
Just visit me. If we can talk, and I can show you where the city limits
where it's
are.
all in.
And, it'll be
But I'm
okay.
just saying, I don't want this commissioners to come up here and come up with some new rule somewhere they just make up and say, I can't hunt within 300 yards of that property.
I'll just say do it with caution.
I always do it
So-
with caution.
Yeah,
So
you wouldn't be
that's all
shooting
we're
towards
asking.
the house,
So
would you?
thanks a lot.
Do you not have any
We
ordinance?
did, we did have that issue come
No,
up.
because that's not our.
What is that?
Jurisdiction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's old people.
To our city attorney.
We know what I'm talking about. When they zone it, but they often.
But look, don't call me old.
I ain't. And I'm old.
And I
Thank you, sir.
Thank
and I guess
Any,
the only question that I have to Attorney Thomas Burnett is in a situation like that, as far as hunting, that would be the Wildlife Commission that would have their guidelines and their
Well,
whatever when
you
it
got
comes
the
down to hunting, right?
Wildlife guidelines wherever you are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're supposed to obey the law all the time.
Right.
And we can't really base what these folks' application and their request
Mhm.
on behalf of what somebody else says that doesn't even relate to what anyone else considers.
Cause I would think that a state like North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, where there's spot developing such as this, I mean, I would think that maybe the Wildlife Commission already has stuff in place or regulations in place for situations such as this. You know, certain rules and guidelines that they will have to abide by.
And there always is with hunting anyway.
We
There's always
addressed
a guide.
that when we had the Knox Grove land.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And the meadows in those areas, so it's not a problem, so it should not be a problem for this property. Anyone else out here would like to make a comment on this annexation? Public hearing is not closed. Staff recommends approving the annexation request. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Toby. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McGee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, 4.6.
4.6, consider adding speed cushions.
Excuse me.
Mayor, can I just impose on one thing?
Yes, sir.
Back to the previous item where they were petitioned to be rezoned so that we can annex them. That the minutes specifically state that the zoning that they requested for is consistent with the city of Oxford's comprehensive zoning plan.
Okay.
That has to be a requirement and a finding of this board, and I would like for you to just add that to the what you've already approved, but I just want to make sure that it's included in the minutes of this meeting that we specifically done that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Right, if you would vote on that, that would be good too.
All right. I'll make a motion that we add those, that wording that is in,
Second.
Second by, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Toby, second by Commissioner Bridges. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Back to the original motion on the annexation. We had a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. And we had one by, we already voted on that.
We've already voted on
Okay, we go 4.6.
4.6, consider adding speed cushions on Old Baker Street, Oxford Park Boulevard, and Polly Drive. The joint committees of the Public Works and the Planning, Business, and Community Committees recommended adding speed cushions on these three streets, Old Baker Street, Oxford Park Boulevard, and Polly Drive.
Mr.
my committee. I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
I would like to amend Commissioner Toby's motion to also add the two stop signs that were agreed upon for Lanier Street.
Motion is Commissioner Toby's. You will have.
Right. I'll have to withdraw my other motion, and I will adjust my motion to add the two stop signs on Lanier Street, as well as the speed bumps on Old Baker Street,
Right.
Oxford Park, Upward Drive.
We need to have a discussion.
You know what, the gentleman mentioned that he thought maybe the lights would be a better fit.
Yeah.
So maybe we should,
Add
Since-
that into the motion.
That we would, well, I'm just saying, we would look and see which one is better at this point. I'm not saying do the lights and do the speed cushions. I think that's a little overkill.
Right.
So
But
it
there's
was,
no
to me, it
speed
was.
No, the speed
Not-
cushions are for
not
other
speed, stop
streets.
signs, stop signs, sorry. I think that's a little overkill, two more stop signs, and then the stop sign that's already there, that we have blinking lights.
Issue
Well,
they were
with the
saying
com-
is that
Well, the
we don't
commit,
see the stop
Yeah,
sign
the-
now, so.
We have extra
we-
input, that is the reason why.
And we have Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, address your motion that you have, so we can move on.
Like to adjust this motion, then you said to add the stop.
Pick between the two.
Well, the motion will be to recommend adding speed cushions to Old Baker Street, Oxford Park Boulevard, Polly Drive,
And let's do
and
that.
we do that one. You want
Let's
another?
just do that one, and then we can make do we have to add it? Can
We
make
can
another
add it.
motion?
We can add it
Just ask.
and add
Okay,
flashing stop sign.
yeah.
If possible, add a flashing stop sign
On Lanier
Add
Street.
add flashes to the existing stop sign.
To the existing.
to
stop
the
sign.
existing. Now, do you still want that stop sign by the police station?
I definitely want the stop sign on Lee Street, on the corner of Lee and Lanier, because that's halfway coming down the hill.
But
And
we,
that's where most of the speed happens, is between the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill.
but we made the motion without that particular input when we had the committee meeting.
Yes, we did.
Now that we have information from the gentleman who brought the issue, who lives in the neighborhood, I think we should go with what he had asked for, which was the blinking light.
Well,
Who's the blink?
I would say, since the gentleman is here,
Yeah.
let's see what would be more beneficial from the gentleman.
Let's ask him. Let's
So definitely we need to blinking light, but an extra stop sign wouldn't hurt nothing, because like he said, the speed starts at the top of that heat. And when they get there to the stop sign, they're wide open. Sometimes, most time they run so fast, if they try to stop, they can't, so they just keep going.
So why don't we consider this, instead of the other stop sign by the police department, let's just do the light for the stop sign that's currently there, and add the additional light on the corner of Lanier and Lee Street.
Or additional light or additional stop?
I need additional stop
The
sign.
motion is still Mayor Pro Tem's motion, so let's, if we need to adjust it, we can get
If we
it right.
need to adjust it, we can. adjust.
Can I make a comment? So coming down 15, most of us, I'll speak for myself. I used to fly going down there. Most people, like if you were going east to west, if you didn't stop, you probably going to get T-boned. But the moment they put those stop signs up there with all those Christmas lights, it immediately, like when I drive there, I go to church in Raleigh, so I drive down there at least 3 times, probably 5 or 6 times a month, if not more. Mentally now, I know to slow down. I know exactly when that is coming up, because now it's a habit, because I've seen those lights enough times, and I've never run that stop sign because it was so bright. It was like it's screaming at you to stop. So from having this discussion with at least 2 of the commissioners, I feel, and from listening to you tonight, what I got from that is, if we start with the blinking lights, if we start with that, if it doesn't work, if and you don't have to come up here. I'm friends with your son. I ask Eddie how your pop's doing. I'll come by there. I know where you live. I will come by there myself personally. But we want what we're aiming to do is to fix your problem, but we want to do it without as much aggression as possible. So if you would be agreeable to us putting the light, let's start with the light. And if we need to, we can give it
We let the stop.
however many months you all think is a reasonable amount of time. and we can revisit it. We will not forget you. If you say, Scott, it ain't working.
Okay. All right. So the
I'll be
motion-
the one to bring it back.
The motion is now,
I'm not understanding.
Hold a second, point in order. Let's go to this. The motion is Mr. Toby's motion. Mr. Toby, will you adjust this motion?
I will adjust this motion to add the flashing lights on the existing stop sign.
When you had what Mr. Brooks just said, request a period of time to it, so we can.
And we can revisit that in 6 months' time. I think 6 months would be good enough, be long enough, I would think, to see if there's any difference. Would you agree with that?
Okay, so there's a motion by Mr. Toby. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion. And the discussion is, when this situation first came up, that the discussion was, let's do this stop sign and see if it slows down traffic. We have the same resident here letting you know that most of the speeding is from the bottom of the hill and the top of the hill, and all you want to do is just add a light and just ignore putting that extra stop sign in between the speed zone. I'm not understanding what's so much of it's not a financial issue. We're talking about one post, maybe 2 posts and 2 signs. It don't cost much for 2 posts and 2 signs to get put up. I mean, what?
Comment though was that people were running the current stop sign.
Yes, that's on the bottom of the hill.
Right.
That's on the bottom of the hill. But the
They say they're
problem
gonna
is,
slow down before.
the problem is from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, and the middle point is Lee Street.
But we'll revisit that in 6 months. That's what the.
Well,
6
that's
months
what
is
we
for.
said a year ago. And we were going to revisit it when they put that one stop sign there, and they still speeding from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill.
And we're addressing that with blinking lights. We're doing something additional.
They speed by our police department. You know, it's,
They said it would be fun.
you know,
So
Right, let's.
I don't see, it's not a big finance issue. We're not asking.
I will concede, I will cancel that motion. I will get rid of that motion. New motion. Adding speed bumps on Old Baker Street, Oxford Park Boulevard, Polly Drive, flashing lights on the existing stop sign and adding the stop sign on Leaf Street. Is that?
I would second that.
I find it to be excessive. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
we need
do.
to do that,
I
you
think
know.
one.
Have you been there, Commissioner Kelly?
Yes,
Have you been on Lanier Street?
yes.
Oh, yeah, I'll be
I
on
think
that.
we need to start with the flashing.
Well, I
lights
lived
because
on
they're
Lanier
missing.
Street,
I
and that
agree.
gentleman right there lives on Lanier Street.
And he's
And she
agreeing
lives
that
on
the
the-
flashing lights work.
It's not working.
point of order.
Just take a vote.
Okay,
This is getting out of hand.
motion is, and we go back to when you had the committee. It was discussing in committee.
Right.
One of the recommendations was put a light on.
Right.
Now you're saying you want to give it 6 months to come back and revisit it. We have the gentleman that presented the first complaint, maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago, is accepting that we put a light on it and come back and revisit it.
Correction, Mayor. The recommendation from the committee was to add 2 stop signs, one on Lee Street and one in front of the police
Yes,
department. That was the recommendation.
That
That
was,
is what it was.
Yes, that's what.
that was,
That's what it was.
that's right, that's what.
And so what, and I don't see it hard with the compromising of getting rid of the one in front of the police station just to be able to add the light to the current one and continue with the other stop sign halfway up the hill on Lee Street.
What's your motion?
I'm getting confused what the motion is now. It's,
Well, he just said
it's,
the motion
we've been
was,
changing about 4 times, right?
Okay,
he just said the
Let's-
motion
let's-
was
let's
to add
go-
the sign
And to add,
on Lee Street.
you had the light, and you had the sign on Leak Street, right?
that's it.
Okay,
And that's it.
there we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Velez. Any discussion? We have
Just
nothing
done
ready. All in favor?
Just for clarification, restate the motion. want,
Restate the
restate
motion.
the current motion that we're
The
voting.
motion is, I would restate it if I can remember it. We will be adding speed cushions on Old Baker Street, Oxford Park Boulevard, Polly Drive, adding flashing lights around the existing stop sign on Lanier Street and adding another stop sign on.
Lanier Street at
And we will not add a stop sign by the police station. We got that?
Are we good on that?
Are we good on that now?
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank goodness.
4.7, consider approving the attached resolution of intent to change the city charter. This would be changing the mayoral term from 2 to 4 years, beginning with the November 2027 election. Recommendation, staff recommends approving the resolution of intent.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
I
Any
have a discussion.
discussion by Commissioner Bridges?
You know, I just have some concerns about extending the term to 4 years for mayor. We have had this set up for years, wherein mayor serves a 2-year term. And I think that part of the reason for that is since there are 3 to 4 commissioners who run to be reelected every 3 to 4 years or so, that, you know, the mayor's term 2 years is appropriate, so that you don't have a board that that, you know, could change, and then, you know, you have the mayor there for that many years. I just don't see the benefit of extending the mayor's term to 4 years. And I think the whole purpose of that is that, you know, you have the commissioners come around for their terms, and then, you know, they go out for reelection just like anybody else. I think that if you start having the mayor's term 4 years, you're just going to run into problems. And so, you know, I oppose the extension of the mayor's term.
Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. So within Granville County and surrounding communities, there's a mix of 2 and 4 year terms. We're currently navigating residential growth decisions, infrastructure and wastewater investments, economic development, recruitment. I think bringing this to a 4-year term really strengthens the long-term accountability. It reduces that constant campaign cycle so we can focus on longer-term decisions. It allows for strategic goals to be set and executed over a meaningful timeline. And I really think that it supports the long-range focus on our current projects. Yeah, I think.
Commissioner Toby.
Well, I think that, I mean, we're re-elected for 4 years. Why not the mayor for 4 years as well? And I think it brings continuity to the mayor's office. You know, whoever the mayor may be, it brings continuity to that office, and that they got 4 years to put their mark on the city rather than 2 years. Well, actually, it's 2 years. you spend a year, you're getting to know the job. The next year, you're campaigning to run again.
Exactly.
4 years is, I think, is appropriate.
The campaigning for me is the difference. All of us that have campaigned this past year, I can't speak for you, but I wouldn't do this every 2 years. It's too exhausting. And so if for nothing else, that for that reason alone, but in addition to the continuity, imagine we had a president every 2 years.
Yeah.
That would be impossible. So, and I understand when I started thinking about this, why did they pick 2 years? Well, what if you get a bad mayor? But on the flip side, what if you get a good? Then you really only getting a year, and yes, you will spend a year campaigning. So at least we can get a mayor. If it was a new mayor, he'll spend the first year learning. He or she will spend the first year learning. Maybe we can get 2 good years out of that mayor, and then they'll have to campaign to run again. So just for the burden that is campaigning, to me, I think is an undue burden that we put on our mayors when we only give them a 2-year term.
Well, I certainly know what it's like to run a tough campaign.
Yeah, you do.
And I think we have had continuity with our mayors. And if you are a good mayor, you're not going to have a problem being reelected in this town. And I've served under several mayors. And all I can say is you put it into the hands of the people. And if the people feel that the mayor is doing a good job, that particular person won't have a problem being reelected. All the mayors that I have served under, when they were running for mayor, won re-election. And I just believe that it makes you accountable. And I truly believe that the commissioner positions are different because we, have voting power. And in terms of motions and seconds and votes, it's generally the commissioners. And I cannot think of one instance where we had a mayor that was a bad mayor and had problems being reelected after 2 years. I just think this, to me, it's a power move wherein, I think it's going to create problems for the city if we move on this particular adjustment. If you're doing a good job as a mayor, you will get re-elected. And I don't think it was even close this last time. So I'm trying to figure out where is the continuity problem? So I oppose.
So we go back at it. We have a discussion. So here's all in favor.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
For the record showed, Mr. Commissioner Bridges opposes. Motion carries.
4.8, call for a public hearing for the April 14th board meeting to receive citizen input on the change to the city's charter, making the mayoral term 4 years instead of 2. Staff recommends calling for a public hearing.
Your motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Your second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm absolutely in support of a public hearing on that issue.
Motion carried.
We need a public hearing.
4.9. Consider adopting the resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Harper General Contractors to rehab the clarifiers at the wastewater treatment plant. Staff recommends adopting the resolution.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner McGee. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brooks. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Item 4.10 was added to our agenda. It is consider reinstating the assistant manager for the city position. I don't have a recommendation.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by who?
The list.
Second by
Commissioner.
Mr. Bellis. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Records show Commissioner Bridges opposes. Motion carries.
Consent agenda. Accept the December financial report. Approve the January 6th and 13th minutes. And approve presenting or giving Interim Chief Curl her service weapon
There's
for her
another one.
retirement.
There's another one here. Approve the appointment of Jane Dillonbeck.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't have my computer.
Approve the appointment of Jane Dillonbeck to yeah.
To the HPC.
See, okay. That's all of them? Yep.
That's all of them. Yeah.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? The second was by Commissioner McCray. I'm sorry. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Adjourn.
We will do a final closing by board. We'll start with Commissioner House.
I just want to say happy birthday to my son. It's his birthday, so I'm gonna go home and I know he's waiting on me. I got some ice cream cake for him. But I also want to piggyback back onto the Orange Street Community Center. That's a very, very good summer program. My son participated last summer. You know, even his cousin who's from Virginia, she comes down for the summer and she participated. They made friends in the community center. The staff treated them very well. And they had nothing but good things to say about the summer program. You know, all those kids were excited every day to go back to the summer program. And I would love if the city would, you know, support them, you know, because it is something for our youth, to keep them off the streets, have them come in there, they learning, you know, and it's what Superintendent Staff Winburn also said, they socializing, they going back to the old school, playing without, you know, all the technology stuff. They actually learning how to have a good time without all that stuff. And I don't know how y'all ladies do it. You know, I got one at home and one little one at home. So I'll pray for y'all. But But my hats is off to y'all because my hat is off to y'all because y'all did a great job. And the play at the end of the of the summer camp was nice too. They enjoyed it all.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Commissioner Kelly.
Just wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight and for Dr. Winborn giving the update for Granville County Schools, Elijah for his achievements and making our city so proud. Also, we had a really great conversation at the agenda meeting last week with the Granville Opioid Settlement Fund and how their resources are helping to support prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts for our community. And it's really important. They're doing some really amazing things. There's a lot of conversation going on about public decisions that we're making, and the responsibility of this board is to really stay focused on what's best for Oxford and to continue to do the work that's moving this community forward. And I'm really proud of the work that we're doing, and I'm grateful to everyone that's showing up and staying engaged on it. So thank you.
Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Brooks.
To Ms. Hawley, I want to thank you personally for being a lifelong educator. When I see you, I see my Aunt Jeanette. And you work with her, and you know she was a lifelong educator. And so you all are a resource that we can't value enough. You have dedicated your entire life to teaching the children in Granville County, and I thank you for it. You were never my teacher, but you were my teacher because you were always around and instructing. So just thank you for that, and I thank God for your life. You have done a kingdom work with your life. You have touched so many souls in Granville County, and all of us love you. I don't know any kid in Granville County that you have spoken to that does not love you. So thank you all for what you're doing, and thank you all for the program that you're doing in this summer. And if I can help, I'm sure Ms. Rogers will call me if you need some AV help. So, and I will answer. Going to the school was rewarding for me. Those fifth graders were full of vigor, and it's always an enjoyment dealing with children because they are their own reward. I always say if we don't invest in them now, we can't expect a return in the future. So I do my best to invest in as many children as I can. So I'm grateful that we have the opportunity in our school system. As adults, we can go in and we can read to them and we can volunteer and do things. I'm grateful to be a commissioner. It's a tough job, and we're doing all we can to be the best board that we can be. I appreciate Mr. Reed coming back. I appreciate your passion, and that's exactly what we need. And I pray that you feel the same passion coming back towards you as we do what we can to resolve the issue that you have. To all the commissioners, I salute you, I commend you, and I pray that we will continue to make the best decisions for our lovely and wonderful municipality that we call Oxford.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Commissioner McCray.
As usual, I always like to thank everyone for sacrificing your time and coming out and being a part of this democratic process. It really means a lot. To Ms. Hawley, yeah, thank you, ma'am. Like I said, I truly believe that you are part of the reason why my daughter's an educator now. I mean, the story she would tell when she would come home, after being under your tutelage, I greatly appreciate it. So thank you. It means a lot. And yeah, the seeds that you planted, they've grown. And now we can, really reap the benefits of, that time, that effort that you spent. So I personally thank you for that. And again, for everyone for coming out and being a part of this. As you can see, we're not going to agree on everything, but trust and believe our sole purpose is doing what's best for the city and doing what's best for our citizens. So I will continue to ask, just as you did, continue to come back. Make those issues and those concerns known, because this, we got your votes to do just that. So again, I welcome that. And again, know that what we're doing, for to make Oxford the best it can be. Again, thank everyone for y'all coming out. Be safe, going home, and God bless.
Thank you. We go across the table to Commissioner McGee.
Just one item. Folks have been asking me, when am I gonna have my listening session? So I finally got a time, and just in case I don't get it in the public ledger in time, it's gonna be Saturday the 28th from 2 to 3 at the library. And I have dates for the next 3 months after that. But I just wanted to say that for, now, in case I can't get it into the paper in time.
Thank you. Well, can we get that onto the
Yeah.
Facebook page and get it
Give
posted?
me that one more time real quick. The 28th, Saturday, from 2 to 3.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
March, right?
Yes, March. And they're gonna be at different times based on people's work schedule. For people, Saturdays, then one night, one day, Saturdays, one day, one night.
Thank you, Commissioner McGee. Commissioner Bridges.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge or say that, I was certainly proud of my former legal assistant. She became a commissioner in Stovall, and then, Lord have mercy, her mom won her election for county commissioner. And I just want to congratulate both of those young ladies for your accomplishment. That says something for this community in terms of selecting good leaders. To the ladies that spoke about the community center program, the one thing I was curious about is what kind of funding y'all have received in the past and what you thought you might need, going forward. I think that the program absolutely is needed, and I'm so happy that y'all have decided to take that on. And I'm sure, Ms. Hawley, since I had 3 daughters who attended Granville County Schools and graduated from Webb, all 3, that they came across you every once in a while. My oldest daughter is working on her doctorate in education. So I know that conversation she had with you certainly inspired her to do what she's doing. She was a great teacher and just decided she wanted to go back to school. Alicia, and she is getting ready to get her doctorate. And I know it's the influences of teachers, educators like you that are allowing her to do that. And so, Ms. Rogers, I don't know what y'all needs are going to be, but I'm going to be totally supportive of what y'all are trying to do with our young people. And I believe you said you expected 25 and got 40 some, 44.
We received funding from the two Episcopal Church. They gave us $1,000 each.
Okay.
And we only charged the kids $10. So
Understood.
some did not pay. But you got to think about the marketing. You have to think about breakfast and lunch.
Okay. So we'll get more details in terms of the needs. All right. That's what we'll be looking forward to. And finally, Mr. McCoy, you and I stood down at your exhibit when I came to vote here, and I'm amazed at how you have accumulated a history for Granville County. And Granville County has survived and done well in the way it's been set up. And I hope that you will take my suggestions of putting some of that stuff in a book
with your explanation in history of what those pictures stood for. Because that truly is, you know, what makes this community a great community. And that is reflecting on our history and remembering our history and moving forward in a positive way.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, as usual, Mr. Bridges has stolen my thunder. To my friends, congratulations on your election wins. I'm so proud of you, and I'm proud to call you friends. And again, Miss Rogers, the Orange Street Community Centre, I think we should really do something to help them. You know, I think we should. I think it's such an important part of this community. It's called a community centre for a reason. It's not a person's, it's a community centre, and we need to help these young children. Oh, yes. I've got some announcements to make, and the mayor's just reminded me of one. All right, the farmers market reopens on May 2nd. So please visit the farmers market, which is down at the Armory. I've been lucky recently. I've seen some really good shows at the Ox Theatre, which is here in City Hall. But coming up on March 20th, we do have Mutts Gone Nuts Unleashed. Trick Dog. It's supposed to be really good, and it's almost sold out. I think there's probably only 10 or 15 tickets left. So, and the next one, To the Limit, the Ultimate Eagles Experience. So if you like the Eagles, some great music.
Date?
That is on April 10th. April 24th, we have Sounds of Georgia. If you like Southern music, I mean, that's great. I mean, I love it. That's April 24th here. And on May 31st, are you ready for it? It's a Taylor Swift experience. Oh, yes. Commissioner Kelly likes that. I don't know about, I mean, I think I'm a bit old for that. But, and I think that's also, please check out the Ox Theatre at City Hall here. We've got some great shows coming up. We've had some great shows in the past. So thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate every single one of you.
Mr. Mayor, do we have the workshop on 13th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. We have this Friday, we have the budget workshop.
Yeah.
On the 13th. What time is it? It's
Friday,
13th. Start at 9 a.m. 8:30. What's the location?
Right here.
Right.
For
Okay.
training room.
Training room.
9 to 2. I said 9 to 2, right?
9 to 2. We missed in May, but I was down at the veteran stuff and the band, the group that plays music there, or the Granville County band. They played pretty good this Saturday, and they're telling me they're here on the 9th of May. And they have a function going on there on the 9th of May, so I didn't see here. Maybe we need to look into that. Okay, I'm gonna close real quick. And it's all, I'm coming basing on the, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Burnett.
I don't have anything to add.
Mr. Taylor.
I don't need it.
No, you can't get there, Tom. Okay. I'm saying thinking that the Ox Theater is doing very well, and we did a lot of things, but my wild mind, I'm thinking of Xavier Wortman. Mr. Wortman done numerous things for this city and the county. And I would like us to start discussing maybe next month or during the weeks. I think the auditorium should be named after Xavier Wortman. I think it should be named after Mr. Wortman. If you look at his history and what he's done, I think that's more than deserved.
Xavier Wortman.
Xavier Wortman, yes. And we can discuss that later in the week. I also want to say Oxford is changing, times have changed. So with change, come a lot of things changed with it. So as you see, we're performing here and we do our job here. This board goes to every school, like I said. Everyone goes to school, we be with this community, we out there being active with community. We have every committee on this board has your date set. And we're holding that to it. I'm holding that to it because people need to know, and that's how we get progress and we move on. Every committee will have their link on the website, so you can go on the website and see exactly what dates we meet. Okay? There's a lot of things going on in the city, and a lot of changes coming. So just stay abreast of what's going on. We're keeping everyone informed in the city. We heard where you didn't get the information, so now we're flooding the information. You get it coming at you. So there's no one can say we don't know what's going on in the city. If it's business, the city manager takes care of it. Our attorney helps make sure we keep in line. So that's how we're gonna keep doing. We're moving forward. Changes here and changes here to stay in the city. Oxford, we talked about history, Jesse Jackson and all that stuff. You walk the aisles of this building, you see stuff that's on here since 1950. It doesn't represent anything that we're seeing today. So when guys like Mr. McCoy put his display, you see the gap from this age, this time to this time, so nobody knew what it is. So that's what guys like Mr. McCoy and Mr. Mark Page down in the library, they do. They fill the gap with their history, then they keep it for us. So we need to pay attention to that, okay? So again, thank you all for all coming tonight. And with that, I request a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by, okay? Second by
Told you
Mr.
don't be
Velez.
so fast.
I was waiting for you.
Told you.
I was